This is the Commodity Scrap Metal Recycling and Economic Report brought to you by Bentley Roll-Off Trailers, Gondola Trailers and Roll-Off Truck Parts, July 17, 2023. U.S. weekly raw steel production fell to 1.711 million tons, a 75.2% utilization rate versus 78.1% last year. This was on slowing U.S. demand caused by higher interest rates that raises the cost of doing business. WTI crude oil price rose to $75.19 a barrel on a higher oil growth target for 2023. Also, this was on supply disruptions in Libya and Nigeria. Moreover, China is moving fast to electric cars. They could then use cheap coal for electrical power, which would cut oil demand and their oil imports. The U.S. weekly oil rig count fell to 537, the lowest in 15 months. This was on higher productivity per rig and on keeping supplies tight. The tight supplies brings higher prices and higher oil company profits. U.S. weekly crude oil production fell to 12.3 million barrels per day, remaining in the tight range now for 14 months. This is as OPEC Plus and the U.S. oil companies are working to keep supplies tight. Scrap steel number one HMS price was steady at $310 a gross ton with some downward price pressure. Overall, supply and demand remain in pretty much of a balance. Hot rolled coil steel price rose slightly to $43.92 per hundredweight, which is $878 a ton on slow demand matched with reduced production. Copper price jumped to $3.92 a pound on the weak U.S. dollar, shortage concerns, and hopes, though, of higher demand. Aluminum price rose to $1.03 a pound, which is $22.72 a metric ton on increased supply and hopes of increased demand. In some areas of the U.S., it's tough to find buyers of scrap aluminum. China's June exports shrank a big 12.4% versus last June amid the slowing of global demand for their Chinese goods. Aluminum exports fell 18.9%, while rare earths rose 17%. U.S. June Producer Price Index, which is the price wholesalers and producers charge. They rose just 0.1% over last year, so almost zero inflation. Prices for gasoline and food rose as scrap metal actually fell 11%. U.S. June consumer inflation expectations fell to 3.8%, the lowest since April 2021. Expectations for the three-year horizon remain at 3%. But now let's look at the actual inflation. So June annual inflation fell to 3%, the lowest in almost 2.5 years. Energy fell 16.1%, used cars fell 5.7%, and food inflation slowed to 5.7%. U.S. July U of M Consumer Sentiment Index jumped to 72.6, the highest in almost 2 years. Sentiment about both current and future expectations improved. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 784 points to 34,509. This was on good corporate earnings, and more people believe we'll miss a major recession. The Super Mini Long Roll-Off Trailer by Bentley, at just 33 feet and a triaxle, it's a heavy hauler at 77,500 GVW. Carry almost 22 tons legally with this short 33-foot trailer. Call 734-722-8100 for a quote on the Super Mini Long Roll-Off Dumpster Trailer. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope all have a safe and profitable week.